You're not inconsistent. You know how to consistently check in on that man. You know how to consistently check to see if your DoorDasher is on their way or if they've arrived just yet. You consistently know how to make sure your Amazon packages made it safely to their destination. But for some reason, when it comes to the things that mean the most to us, that's when we seem like, oh my gosh, I'm inconsistent. I don't know how to reach a goal. You're reaching goals all day, every day. You breathe, sleep, eat, shit, goals. I had to ask myself one very simple question. Do I trust myself? And of course, I'm going to say yes. Why would I sit up here and say no, I don't trust myself? But I realized the answer was actually no. If I really trusted myself, when I deviate from a goal or I don't hit a certain milestone that I thought I would hit, it wouldn't knock me off my square. I would be able to get back up the next day and fight the good fight again. But for whatever reason, I stop. But why is it that if my DoorDasher doesn't come and bring my crab legs, oh, I'm on their ass? Okay, I know how to be consistent with certain things. I know how to be consistent and make sure that that gets to my house. And if I can't get it that day or if they're out of stock, I'm on it the next day. The same mechanism is at work here. There's certain things in your life you are following through on, you are making good on, you are disciplined in getting. But when it comes to the bigger goals, you sometimes fall off. Why is that? It's not because you're inconsistent. It's because the trust is lacking. You trust yourself more to follow up on that man or that DoorDasher or your Amazon packages more than you trust yourself on reaching goals that feel far from you or feel like you can't get those. That's when I started to have to ask myself questions like, who am I feeling like? Like, what do I really see myself as? Who am I? Because am I just the girl who gets on with life and goes back and forth to work? I'm kind of okay, but not really. I could live the rest of my life like that. Most people do, but most people are also depressed and have anxiety. Or I could start to identify as the woman who gets things done, faces things when they come, and actually hits the goals that I have set out for myself. And I think until I started to identify, like I became her. Forget about me feeling like I'm in striking distance or I visualize this one day when I become the Alyssa who dresses like this, or is this impactful, that impactful. I had to start embodying that. I had to start becoming that woman and seeing myself as her. Because guess what? It's the internal that brings out the external. I can't try to dress it up on the outside to look like that and then by osmosis feel like that. No, it has to go the other way. So I used to identify more as someone who's comfortable with how my life was, right? Following up and following through and being consistent with the things that I saw myself as, the people I'm most familiar with, the habits I'm most familiar with, right? I've built some deep trust in those things because I do it like a machine. I can do my life in my sleep, and I'm sure you can too. But it became a little bit more tricky because it wasn't automatic. Certain habits of being who I am today were not automatic. It took a while for my mind to catch up to what my body was doing and the habits that I was doing and the things I was and was not entertaining. There's just certain things I don't do anymore. There's just certain places and people and things I don't associate myself with anymore. And only recently am I trusting that version of myself because the reality of that is starting to land as who I really am. So it's not that you're inconsistent. It's that you don't trust the version of yourself that is being birthed at this moment. And you may be like, what do you mean birthed at this moment? I am who I am. I'm not making progress. I'm not moving toward my milestones. But you have to start to embody that. It's not going to come. I promise you it's not going to come. You already know that. You wouldn't even be feeling like this if the container that you made for yourself still fit you. You are busting up out of this container. It can no longer hold the expansiveness that is you. And that's why there's that tension, because for me, as I was on my journey to becoming my best self and being this woman I've always visualized, I started to feel tension. I started to feel frustration. Nothing in life was satisfying. Everything felt out of alignment. And that's because I was ready to move on to that next level. But I had to start to really embody that and understand that, okay, just like I got comfortable with the level I was already at, just like I trusted myself at the level I was already at, just like I was consistent with the level I'm already at, right? Because I didn't give myself enough credit. And I'm sure you might be doing the same thing. You think you're inconsistent, but like I said, you're not. Everything in your life, whether it's work, the people you entertain, what you got to do next, or just your regular life, you're very consistent with those things. I bet you're having the same day today that you had yesterday, the day before that, and the day before that. That's consistency. So I really want to hammer that point in. You're not inconsistent. You just have not embodied the version of yourself that you want to be yet. And I'm telling you through my own experience that embodiment comes first. And that's why I always talk about move the goalpost closer. I don't care what goal you're after. I don't care what milestone you haven't hit in 20 years. This is a new day, a new dawn. You can choose to say, you know what? That person I was yesterday no longer exists. You could change your name. You can change your history. Okay? You can change your past. What ex? Okay, I am a virgin. I've never been with nobody. You can restart and reset everything today. Make it easy for you to win. If you haven't gotten your steps in, you haven't started to publish that book, make your own YouTube channel, approach your boss with a new proposition. If you haven't done those things, you take small steps, the smallest stuff that you're like, that's so silly. That's so stupid. That's so too low. But it's not. It's actually the thing that's going to help you trust yourself more and start to see yourself as that person, because sometimes it's not always the destination, right? The journey is what makes us the person who can sustain the destination. And sometimes if we're so fixated on making sure that my journey's got to be a certain way, it's got to look a certain way, it's got to feel a certain way, it's got to have certain people in it. No, the journey is going to be imperfect. It's going to be dark. It's going to be ugly sometimes. It's going to have great moments. It's going to have bright moments. But the journey is what morphs you and creates you. It's like that diamond that has a bunch of pressure before it's fully revealed as this beautiful polished thing. And by you trying to curate every aspect of the journey, you're literally choking the magic out of a beautiful process. Because when you get to where you're trying to go, I promise you, you're not going to see balloons. You won't see fireworks. You won't see dun 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 dun. I'm finally her. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be small moments of realizations like, oh, this is nice. I had a good sleep tonight. Or I'm finally eating well. Or I finally cut him off. Or I finally had the courage to talk my shit. That's what it's going to feel like. And I know for me, when I hit certain milestones, I thought it was promised to me almost. I kind of felt duped a bit. Like when I get here or I put in X amount of work, it's going to feel like, wow. But I think it's almost naive and very childish, very Disney Channel, cinematic, woo-woo vibes almost, to where it's like you think it's got to be some big old celebration because you finally got to where you got. It's not going to feel like that. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to feel very normal. That's the point. That's what embodiment means. Like, doesn't it feel normal for you to just wake up and use your legs? Oh, if you have them. But it feels normal to wake up and use your legs, right? You're not going to wake up, wow, look at these feet. Look at this leg and how it hinges at the knee and I walk. It's not going to feel like that. It's normal. And that's the whole point of when we get into manifestation, quantum physics. You can't keep visualizing. You can't always just talk about I'm a manifesting what I'm going to become. No, we got to start embodying that now, and embodiment feels normal. That's one of the biggest things I've learned on this journey of me becoming better, because I can sit here today and confidently tell you that I am exactly who I want to be. There's no aspect of me that I'm still striving for, still gunning for, still going after. I've accepted where I'm at, and I trust that with this level of acceptance and self-trust that I have within me, that's going to get me to any other place that I'm not currently at. But guess what? It's just a place. I don't no longer have to change to get to that place. I simply have to become more me. And the only way I become more me is if I start to strip away everything that's not. I can't keep playing and operating at such a low and small level if I know that I'm too big for where I'm at. You're too big for where you are. Why do you think that you feel this way? Why do you think you're anxious or feeling depressed or feeling like you're depriving yourself of the life that you're supposed to have? Because you are. And it's okay to be upset about that. It's okay to feel anger or whatever, but anger could be a useful emotion. Don't sit in that, because you'll harden and you'll become bitter, and there's nothing worse than a bitter woman. Okay, or a bitter man. But use it. Use it to start to think of a new thing, to start to operate in a new way and to relate to yourself differently. Because that's all we're really doing. All I really did was redefine what life means for me. I redefined what it looks like for Alyssa to be successful. I redefined what it looks like for Alyssa to be happy and feel like she is fulfilled and emotionally happy in life. I redefined it, because if I kept a very rigid idea of what it looks like for me to be successful, happy, fulfilled, I'd always be striving. And then I started to realize joy is where I'm at. Success is where I'm at. I can't have that if I'm not with me. So we have to relate to ourselves differently. As I said, you're not inconsistent. You just don't trust yourself yet. I want you to leave the idea that it's got to feel big and grand and it's got to be crazy when you get to the destination. It's not going to feel like that. It's going to feel normal as fuck. It's going to feel normal as walking, as breathing, as watching this video and pressing record. That's when you know that you are exactly who you say you are. And you can shift into that anytime. It's really a mental thing more than it is anything. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave you here. Let me know if you see some of yourself in me. And I would love, love, love to chat with you guys in the comments. If this really hit you deeply, tell me where, and I will definitely be talking to you guys soon.